Hello, welcome to Tech Sharmat. In this session, we will cover a series for VS Code. So mainly we will discuss each and every feature of VS Code for IPMI. Okay. So far what we were doing, we were using green screen for connecting with our IBMI system. But now we will set up our VS Code for establishing the connection with IBMI system. Okay, so one by one we will discuss each and everything. Like firstly we will discuss about the setup configuration, and then we will discuss like how to access library list, how to access and browse sources, IFS sources, right? So each thing we will discuss one by one. So before we start this thing, I'm assuming that you all have installed your VS Code application in your system. If not, then there is a one session in our playlist, so you can just go through it. And there I have explained all the terms that we need to take care while installing the VS Code. So in that session, we have just discussed the VS Code installation process. Once your system is ins installed with the VS Code, then you can simply follow these steps, the one which I'm going to follow now. Start now. Okay. So first of all, you have to click on this icon, which is for extensions. So just click here. Either you can click here or you can press Control Shift or X. So I'm clicking here. Once you click here, it will open this window where it will show some of the installed extension if you have installed anything previously, or it will also recommend some extensions. But for now, what you need to do, just go to the search box and here write code for IBMI and then simply hit enter. So once you hit enter, it will open this list. From this list, just select the first one, code for IBMI, and click here. After that, it will give you one option for download or for install. So just click here on install. Once you click on install, then you will see, then in some time it will show one icon here which is for connecting the IBMI to VS Code. So yes, it is now here. So just simply close this and click here. Now from here you can just go and click on IBMI. This icon was previously not there, right? The moment when we install that extension, after that it comes here. So click here. Here you might see some of the previous connection, like if you have already set up some configuration, and if you are using VS Code for the first time for VS Code, then there would not be any kind of pre setup configuration. So in that case you can just either go to the there would be one option, connect to IBMI, or you can click here on plus icon. So just click here. Here we need to fill these required fields. Okay, so for connection name you can select any name. In my case I'm selecting Sharmit. Okay, so it is up to you, you can select any name, you can give any name here. Then we need to specify the host or IP address. So in our case we are going to use pub400.com. So just write www.pub400.com. Then for pub400 we have to use port 2222. So this is very mandatory step. If you are not using 2222, it will give error and it will not connect your pub400 system with VS Code. So make sure to pass port SSH as 2222. Then you need to specify your username. So this is the same username that we use while logging into the green screen. And similarly, you can pass here the password. Okay, then if you would like to save your password, you can select this option. Otherwise, just go with the by default options. For private key, we will keep it as it is. Just click on connect. So once you click on connect, it will start processing and start configuration. So it will take some time, and once it is connected, then you will see one icon here, and also it will show some option for navigating for the libraries, objects, and IFS locations. Okay, so just wait for a moment, and you can see now all the required things has been configured. So just I'm clearing this so that we can directly see the main screen. I'm just closing all these things. All right. So here you can see we are getting one option here, settings, and these three options that we can expand, and then we can perform all our operations here. So in part wise we will discuss each and every option here, but for mainly for this portion what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss uh, like how to see the settings, by default settings of this connection. So just click here and it will show all those settings that is already configured, like quick connect, so it is connected. So here it is mentioned, when enabled, server setting from previous connection will be used, resulting in much quicker connection. If the server settings are changed, right click on the connection in connections browser and select connect and reload server setting to refresh the code. So just click here. If you would like to use SQL, it should be clicked, means it should be selected. And if you want to see any description of libraries in your user library list, you can select this. By default it is unchecked. This option you can keep as it is without any changes. Similarly, for errors to ignore, you can keep it as it is. Now if you click on source code, then there are some source code settings, like if you would like to go with some specific CCS ID, just mention here. Otherwise you can keep it as star file. Then we have enable source date. If you need some dates, source dates, then you can select this option, otherwise leave it as it is. Similarly, source date in Gata, read mode only. So these are the default options. Maybe later if we need any of the option, then we will customize it, but for now we will go with the default options. Then we have terminal settings, like 5250 encoding default is there. So these are the something that we don't need any changes. We don't need any changes right here. For debugger port, you can mention your port if you want to specify anything, but no changes are needed for now. Only one changes is needed, which is this temporary library. So what this library indicate that whatever the library name you will pass here will be considered as your temporary library. Okay, so what will happen if you go with this default option? It will try to create a library because it is not there in our system. So it will try to create this library in your system. But we know that PUB400 does not allow us to create any library. It provides two library, and that's what we are supposed to use. We don't have any authority to create new library. So if you keep it as it is, it will give error. So instead of that, what you can do, you can pass your secondary library which is provided by the PUB400. So in my case, my secondary library is Sharmit2. My primary library is Sharmit1 and secondary Sharmit2. So I just specified Sharmit2 here, and other options are same, and then simply go and click on settings. Okay, so from all those options, all option you can take default, but in case of temporary data, just go and make this library as Sharmit2. Otherwise it will give error when you try to browse your sources, because at that time it will try to create your temporary library with the default name, and it will not allow us to create the library because on PUB400 we does not have any authority. So just make sure to specify your secondary library here, and then simply go and click on save settings. So once you click on save settings, your setting has been changed. Now we have three options here: user library list, object browser, and IFS browser. Okay, so one by one we will discuss each and every options in detail in upcoming portion. Okay. Okay, so now we will discuss the first option from this list, which is user library list. Okay, so we will expand this button. So just simply click here and it will open a library list for you. So this is the same library list which we use in green screen using the command edt_libl. Okay, so if you have worked on the ACS, there is one command edt_libl. Using ACS, like you can connect with your PUB400 or whatever the server you are using, and then you can simply run that command edt_libl. I will show you that command. So let's jump to the green screen. Here you can see that when we are doing edt_libl, so it will open a library list, right? So these are the three library which is right now in my list. Okay, and same way, like if you go and hit the command dsp lib, it will show you the current library. So you can see Sharmit1 is my current library. Okay, so let's jump to the VS Code again. So here you can see that we have 3 libraries in the library list. Now one by one we will see these options. Okay, so for that you can see the first one, which is add to library list. So let's say if I want to add one library to my library list, then what to do? You just need to click here and it will ask the library name. So I will add my library Sharmit1 here. So just write Sharmit1 and hit enter. So if you hit enter, it will take some time and then you can see the Sharmit1 library has been added. Alright, now let's say if we pass the library name which does not exist, let's say ABC I pass. Let me retry. So just write ABC and hit enter. So if library is invalid, then it will show this message and you can expand it. So it is showing the following libraries were removed from the updated library list as they are invalid ABC. Okay, so it is showing that it is invalid. But if you pass the correct library name, then it will add it. Let me show another example. If I pass it as Sharmit2 and hit enter, so it will take some time and your library has been added. So this was all about this plus icon. So if you take your mouse here, it will show add to library list. Okay, now look at the second option. Second option is change library list. So once you click here, it will ask you for the order of the library. Let's say I want to keep the Sharmit1 library at top or at the first position. So what I can do, I can simply cut here, cut the value from there and paste it here along with the comma. Similarly, I will keep my Sharmit2 library after Sharmit1, so comma, and then I will paste the value. Okay, so now you can see the order is changed. Sharmit1, Sharmit2, QTAM, QGPL, games 400. This is pub 400 libraries, right? So if I hit enter here, so it will take some time and now you can see the library order has been changed, list order, right? Now the Sharmit1 is at the top. This Sharmit1 is indicating that this is my current library, but this is the library in my library list, Sharmit2, then QTAM, QGPL, games 400. Okay, so this was all about the second option. Now look at the third option. Third option is for refreshing the library list. So if I click here, it will refresh the library list, and if you are working with multiple library list and there is some delay in library change, so you can just simply click here and it will refresh your library list. Now look at the fourth option, which is for save the current setting to new profile. What does it mean? Let's say if you are working on any project and there are multiple library which you need to specify every time in the library list. So instead of setting it every time, you can save your all the libraries as a profile. So let's see how to do this. So just simply click here. It will ask for the profile name, so I will make it as Sharmit profile and hit enter. So once you hit enter, it will add one more tab for you, which is for profiles, and here you can see it is set as Sharmit profile. So if I click here, it will automatically change my library to, let me take it up, it will take my library to Sharmit profile. For example, let's say if I remove some of the libraries from here, okay, and if I click here on Sharmit profile, just simply go and set active profile. So you can see library has been changed and you are also getting the message switch to Sharmit profile. So it is time saving, right? Because whenever let's say we are working with a 10 library, so what we can do, we can just set the order and then we can save our profile. So next time whenever we are working on a project, you just need to click here and it will automatically set your library as per the profile. Yeah, the second option you can see is reset to default. So if you click here, it will go and set the library to default. Also, it is indicating this will reset the user library list working directory custom variable back to the default. So just click on continue and you can see now it is back to the default. Okay. Another option you can see here, create and edit command profile. So from here, like you can create the command profile. Okay. And another thing is save current setting to new profile. So if you want to save it to the new profile, you can simply go and click here. For a time being, I will just remove this profile because I don't need this. So just click here. If you want any changes, you can change. Otherwise, you can simply click here on delete. It will ask for the confirmation. Just click on yes, and it is deleted. Okay. So this was the option that we just discussed. Now we have three dots. Just click here. Here you can see there is one option for the clean up library list. If you click here, it will show that library lists were validated without any errors. Okay, so it is executed properly. Similarly, if you check for the second option, which is maintain custom variable, if you want to maintain your custom variable, you can maintain from here. This thing maybe we will discuss in the upcoming portion. For now, we are just discussing and focusing on the library list part. Okay, so we have covered all these four options. Now look at the another options. Let's say if I want to add one library or create one library, so how to do this? So for that, you will see one option here. Click here, change current library, and it will ask for a library, like which this is for changing the current library. So let's say I want to make my Shermet 2 library as current library. So hit enter, select, and you can see the message changed current library to Shermet 2. Okay, now it is indicating that Shermet 2 is a current library. So from this option you can change your current library. Now come here. Here if you do right click on the library, it will give an option for removing the library list. So if you would like to remove any library list, just click here, remove from library list, and it will be removed. Okay, now from this there is one more option, like you can see this up key and down key. So if you want to change the sequence of the libraries from here, then you can simply go, let's say if I want to take this qtemp to the down, so I will click here and it is shifted to the down. Okay, let me add few more libraries. Shermet 1, Shermet 2. So if we have only these much of library and we want to change the order, then you can use this like up key. I want to take this Shermet to top, so I will click here. It is moved top again. So now it is top at the top. Now similarly, I can move my Shermet 2 library. Now I want qtemp. This is how we can set the option. So this will be useful when there is very less number of libraries, but if there are multiple libraries, in that case you can simply click on change library list option, and from here you can directly type your order. Okay, so these are the options that we usually take for the library, for maintaining the library list. Okay, so yeah, and in next portion we will discuss upcoming part. So yeah. Okay, so now we will discuss the second option, which is for object browser. Okay, so for that I will click here, and it will, once we click here, it will expand this, and from here we will get multiple options. Like first option is for creating the filter, second option is for creating the library, then we have option for go to file, and then we have sorting feature, right? Refresh object browser and collapse all. So you can see create filter here. This option is also used for create filter, and if you haven't created any of the filter yet, then by default it will show one option here also for creating the new filter. Okay, so let's start one by one from here. So before we create filter, let me tell you exact reason for creating the filter. And what is filter? So filter is something through which you can access or browse your sources. Okay, if I talk about the IBM system, let me move to the here. So here you can see that this is my source physical file, right, which resides in my library Shermet 1. So you can consider it as a folder. Like in Q Shermet there are multiple members. So if you want to access these member in VS Code, so for that reason you need to create the filter. Okay, so let's see how to do this. So first of all, you need to click here. Either you can click here, or if you haven't created any of the filter, then it will show one option here also. Otherwise it will show the created filters. So from here, just click on the create filter. Then it will open a window where you need to fill out some details to create the filter. So let's see what all details we need to pass here. First of all, we need to select the filter name, and this filter name should be unique. Okay, if you have, let's say if I have created one filter with filter one name, so next time it should be other unique name, not the filter one, otherwise it will create a conflict, right? So for now I will make it as filter for Q source. Okay, so I just gave this name filter for Q source. Now second option we need to pass is library. So here you need to specify the library from which you want to browse the sources. So by default it is indicating to QGPL, but I will make it as Sharmit1, which is my library name. Then we need to pass the object. Here you can see it is written object name can be generic name with an asterisk, for example asterisk. If you are passing asterisk, it means it will fetch out all the objects. But if you are passing something like this generic name Q asterisk, so what it will indicate, let's say if I write Q asterisk, so it will indicate that fetch out all the object which started with a Q. There could be anything after Q, but it should start with a Q. Then these filter will these sources or these objects will be filtered in this filter. Okay, let's say if I want to fetch all the object which is started with Sharmit, so I can pass like this, which is started with SHAR, so I can pass like this. Okay, so for time being we are using Q asterisk. Now we need to select the object type filter. A comma delimited list of object types, for example star all, star pgm, star service program, star source file, is a special type which will return only source files. Okay, so here you can select any option, star all, star pgm, star service program, star srcpf. So by default it is srcpf, and that is fine, like we just want to fetch the source files, source physical files. Okay, now next option is for member. Member name can be multi-generic value. Example star CL, CL star ABC star A. A single star will return all members. Okay, so by default you can keep it as asterisk because it will fetch the all member. But if you want any specific member, so then you can use this generic term, like if I start like this, so whatever the objects, what are the member ended with CL will be fetched out. Okay, but for now we will fetch for all members. After that we need to select the member type. It could be RPG asterisk, it could be SQL rpgle, it could be anything. So for time being we are just selecting it asterisk, so all the members it will fetch out. Okay, so if you are not sure like which value you need specifically, in that case you can select any generic name for the member. Okay, so if you are not sure like which particular member you want to fetch, then you can simply pass asterisk here. Okay, another option is protected. If you don't want user to make changes in the filter, in that case you can simply select this option, otherwise you can click on save settings. Okay, so once you click on save setting, it will add your filter here. Now if I click on this button to expand the sources, it will list out all those sources which is started with Q, because during the filter creation we mentioned that just list out the all the filters, all the sources, source files which is started from Q. So you can see all the sources are listed here. Now if you want to expand any of the source file, you can just click here and it will open a source file for you. So you can see it is showing all those member which is created in my QSharmit library. If I select any of the member, it will show me the exact code. Okay, so this is the advantage of filter. Through this you can simply navigate to your sources, you can check out, you can write the code, you can, like these things we will discuss in deep in the upcoming portion, like how we can create the sources, compile the sources, all these options we will cover. Okay, for time being I'm just explaining you how to create filter and how to expand and navigate the source files. Now we will see one more example. Let me close this, and now we will create another filter. Let's say I don't want all the source file, instead of that I just want a specific source file. So for that I will give the name of the filter Q Sharmat filter. Okay, and here I will pass my library name as Sharmat1, object name as Q Sharmat. Okay, I'm not passing any generic name, I'm just passing as it is. Then source file, member should be all, member type should be all, and just click on save settings. So Q Sharmat filter is added. If I expand this, then you can see it will show only one source file, which is Q Sharmat, because we have specified this thing inside a filter. Okay, so these are the members. So this is how we can utilize filters in order to browse or access the source files and its member. Now we will discuss one by one all these options, like we have covered with this create filter. Now second option is create library. This is the option, like if you are using pub400, in that case it will not allow you to create the library, because this is a public server and it only provide you two library that you can use. But if you are using any other server, in that case you can click here, it will ask for a library name. Let's say I pass abc and hit enter. In case of pub400, it will give this error, cannot create library, not authorized to command crtlib in library, because we don't have authority, right? But if you are using any other server, then you can simply select this option to create the library. Now look at the third option, which is for go to file. If I click here, it will directly show me all those members, right? So you can see it is indicating all those members, which whatever the members I have, I can access. So instead of, like, let's say if there are multiple members, right, in our filter, you can see here, right? But if you want specific, so instead of looking into this manually by expanding it, you can directly go to that particular portion. How? Just click on go to file, specify your library name. So I will pass it as Sharmit1, and it will also give you options, right? Then slash, in Sharmit1 I want to fetch for the Q Sharmit, so I will make it as Q Sharmit. Then I will use slash, and then it is indicating me all those members which is present in Q Sharmit source file, like test.pf, test1.rpgle, test2.rpgle, and functions.rpgle. So whatever the thing you want to select, you can select it from here. So it is a time saving thing, right? Instead of navigating it one by one, you can simply click on this option for go to file, and the shortcut command for this is Control Alt and P. So it will give you this option. From here you can provide your path which you want to access. Okay, now we have another option for sorting the filters. So if you select here, it will sort out your filters. So if I unselect this and make it up, so I'm moving Q Sharmit to the top. For now I'm closing this option and just click here. So Q Sharmit is top, and if I select this option, sort filter, so it is again sorted. So whenever you want to sort your filters, you can simply click on this icon. Next option is for refreshing the object browser. If you want to refresh your object browser, just click here and it will reset it. Another option is collapse all. So let's say if there are multiple filters are opened and you want to close once all the filters, so in that case you can simply click on this option, which is for collapse all. So once you click here, it will collapse all the filters. Okay, so these are the some options that we can use for the object browser. Now step by step we will proceed for further options, like how we can select, like if I do right click here, there are multiple options, right? So one by one we will discuss each and everything. And another thing is this, the top and down icons, which is for moving the filters. Let's say if there is any specific filter which you are using frequently in your project, so in that case you can move it to top. So it will be a time saving, like next time you will find it on the top. Okay, so yeah, now we will discuss further things. Okay, so far we have covered all these of options. Okay, now what we will do, we will explore few more options related to the filters. So for that you just need to right click on this filter, any of the filter, and then you will see these couple of options that we will go and discuss one by one. Okay, so let's start with the first one, which is for creating the source file. So how to create source file? If you want to create any source file directly from your VS Code, so in that case you can just simply right click on this and click on create source file. Then it is asking for name of the new source file and then simply hit enter. So if you hit enter, it will create the save source file. Otherwise it will otherwise you can take escape to cancel. So let's say I want to create one source file, but before that I will show you that uh, in the green screen, like does the object really exist or not. Okay, so for that I will go to my green screen and here I will try work obj q test abc. So if I do enter, so you can see cannot find the object to match specified name. So now we will create the source file using this filter itself. So just right click on filter, go to create source file and put here q test abc and then simply hit enter. So if you hit enter, it shows one message. If you expand this message, it will show creating source file this. Alright, so it means it is created. Let's go to the green screen again and do the same query again, q test abc. So you can see it is created. If you take option 8 here, you will find that it is created on date and this is the time. Okay, so from VS Code itself you can create the source file. Alright, now look at the second option. You have created the source file, but if you expand this, it might be not visible here. Why? Because in filter we have set the option as the filters, which is like it will fetch only those objects which is started with, which is QShermit. If you remember in our previous portion, we set the definition for filter which will show only the source which is QShermit. Okay, so that's why it is showing only that filter. If you want to accept your newly added source file, in that case you can create your own filter again as per the source file name. Now look at the second option. Second option is for set deploy workstation location. If you want to set your deploy workspace location, you can click here and it will ask for a IFS directory. So for example, I will go and make it as home/Shermit and then simply hit enter. So once you hit enter, it will ask for deploy now. So if you want to deploy, yes. Then it will give you three options: compare, synchronize using MD5 hash comparison, changes, 0 changes detected since last upload, we will skip this deploy step. And third option is for all, every file in the local workspace. So whenever you want to perform any deployment, you can select any of the three options from this list. Okay, in detail maybe we can discuss later, but for now you can just clear this thing. Like if you want to perform any deployment on your IFS, in that case you can just simply right click on your filter, then go for set deploy workspace location. Now the third option is for maintain filter. If you click here, it will show all the definition. So like we were discussing that we are fetching only the QShermit object, that's why it is showing QShermit. But if you want to perform any modification in your filter definition, you can simply right click on the filter. Let me expand this. Yeah, so right click on the filter, then click on maintain filter and it will open that window from where you can simply maintain your filter. Let's say I want to change the name QShermit filter. Instead of that, I want to make it as filter QShermit, filter for QShermit. Then simply go and click on save settings. So it will take time and it is updated now. Okay, so whenever you want to maintain your filter, just click here and again you can change your definition as per your requirement, because it might be possible that you are working on any project and there later you decided to slightly change the requirement of your filter, so you can simply click on this maintain filter. Now look at the next option, which is for copy filter. If you want to copy the existing filter, so you can simply click here and it will ask you for the name. By default it appends -copy and you can see other options are as it is,
as we have in filter for QSharmith. All the options are same. It just append the hyphen copy. Why? Because we can't keep the name same. Okay, so if you want to go with by default name, you can go. Otherwise, you can customize your name as per your requirement. By default, it append the hyphen copy. So you just need to click on save settings. Other settings are same as the QSharmith, so you can see it is added now. Okay, so this is the advantage. If you want to copy the filter, you can copy it. Now let's say if you don't need this filter again anymore, so you can just right click here and go for the delete filter. It will ask for the confirmation. From here you can select yes and it will be deleted. Okay, now look at the another option, which is for move filter to top. Suppose you are working with multiple filters and from that filter you want one particular filter at the top. So one way is to click here to take it top, right? But it would be time taking if there are multiple filters. So in that case you can select right click here and just simply click here move filter to top, and it will automatically take your filter to the top. Similarly, if you want to take your filter down to bottom, you can click move filter to bottom and it will be shifted to the bottom. Okay, so you know that if this option is not available and you are working for, let's say, 100 of filters, so it would be very time taking to click on again this option and it will take to the top. But if you have these options, move to top and move to bottom, then you can simply click here and it will provide you the a way to directly take your filter to the top. Okay, so yeah, these are the some options that we can select from the filter right click. Okay, so far we have covered library list portion, we have covered all these options from the object browser, we have covered all these right click option for the browser. Now we will proceed for the further options. Okay, so far we have discussed all the right click options for the filter. Okay, these are the options that we have already covered. Now we will proceed one more step further. Okay, so for that you just need to click on this expand button and it will show you the source file. Now we will see all those options that we can use by right clicking on the source file. So you can see there are three options. So one by one we will discuss each option. Okay, so for that, firstly I will click on this create member. So what it will do, it will allow me to create a new member for this source physical file QSharmith. So if I expand this, you can see these are the options that we have. So I can simply right click here on source file, create member, and here you can give a member name with extension. So let's say I want to create one flat file or text file. So what I can do, I can write it as new file dot txt. Okay, so before we create this, let me show you this in green screen first. So if I press alt tab, so it will open a green screen, and here we will see, for like if I refresh it, you can see there is no new test, right? So now simply go here, right click, create member, new file dot txt, and then simply hit enter. So once you hit enter, it will create a member for you. You can see now the file is added, and here you can write something, new file created by VS Code. Then simply go and save it by Control S and simply close this. So it will ask for the confirmation, just save it, and you can see new file.txt is here. Same thing we can check on green screen. If I do refresh here, you can see new file is there, and if I take option 5, it will show me the exact data that we have noted from VS Code. Okay, so this is how we can create the new member to the source file. There is one small icon also. From here as well you can add the new member. Now right click again. Then we have second option for search source file. So what it will do, I will show you one thing, that in test file I have written some text, or like you can see here it is written new and test. So what we can do, we can simply right click here, go for search source file, and let me close this file first. Now simply go here, search source file, and here I can write new and then simply hit enter. So if you hit enter, it will search for it and it will indicate that particular line where this new text is written. So you can see it is indicating new file dot txt because there is one hit. So if I click here, it will show you the exact line of code. Similarly, we have another hit at test file.txt. So if I click here, it will show that there are two hits. Second hit is at new file. Okay, so with this option, you can easily search for a particular string inside a source physical file. So this is very a good option. Like you can simply click here and you can provide anything. Let's say if I search for VS and hit enter, so it will find out like in which member VS is written. So if it is written somewhere, it will indicate it. So you can see it is indicating in new. You can see there is expandable button, new file.txt, one hit. If you click there, it will show you the exact line where this hit occur. So you can see VS is here. Okay, so this is the one option for the member. Now look at the second option for the source file, which is sort by. So there are two types of sorting we can perform here. One is by date and one is by name. So if I click on date, it will sort all the data as per the date. You can see recent are at recent one at the bottom and oldest one at the top, sort date. And if I do the same again, so it will reverse the order. Now new one is the top and old one is at the bottom. Okay, now look at the another way we can sort it using name. So if I click here, it will sort it with the name. Okay, so yeah, these are the some options that you can use by right clicking on this source file, and then you can use as per your requirement. Now we will discuss further options. Okay, so far we have discussed like what are the all options that we can use by right clicking on the source file. Okay, so these are the things that we have already discussed. Now we will go one step ahead. So for that, I will simply go and expand the source file, and there you can see there are multiple members I have already created. Okay, so these are the members that we usually create with uh, like either you can create it with VS Code or it is already created in your green screen. Okay, so if I do right click on any of the member, you will see multiple options, right? Browse, run action, select for compare, compare with selected, update member text, copy member, rename member, delete member, download, upload and replace, and sort by. In sort by there are two things, date and name. So one by one we will discuss each and every function of this. Okay, so let's start with before that there is one icon. Although we have discussed this previously also, we have created something, right? So this option is mainly for creating the member. If you would like to create member, just click here, and here you can give your name, let's say test3 dot rpgle. Here you need to specify the extension also, and then simply hit enter. It will take some time and then it will show that member is created. Okay, fine. Now if I close this and if I show you something, let's say if we will start one by one with all options. Okay, so the first option, like if you simply go and hover on any of your member, it will show some details. You can see it is showing the path of the file member. It is residing inside Sharmit1, then Q Sharmit, then test1.rpgle. So from here you can find out the path. Another thing is lines of code. It is indicating 23. Similarly, it is indicating 31. Okay, so you can just simply place your mouse cursor here and it will show the lines of code along with create date and change date, date and time. Okay, so you can see it is showing the created timestamp and change timestamp. So this is very useful. Let's say whenever you are working on any source and you need such these all information, you can simply place your cursor there and it will indicate the details. Okay, now let's jump to the options. So for that I will right click here any of the member, and there is the first option is browse. So if I click on browse, what it will do, it will open the source. So you can see source is open, but I am not able to write anything here. Why? Because it is in read only mode. How we can identify it? You can see here it is showing one small lock. So this is the advantage. Let's say if you are working on any project and you don't want to change any line unintentionally. Okay, so in that case you can make it in a locked form, means you can open with a browse mode, and if you try to insert something, it will not allow you. Okay, this is just for the view purpose, so you can read it, read the sources. Okay, you can analyze the sources, but not, you are not able to write anything. So this is a very good feature, right? If you want to edit the source, then simply click left click here. So this time it is open but in edit mode. How we can identify? Because here there is no lock, and similarly if I do any changes, it will allow me. Okay, but if you are in browse mode, then it will not allow you to edit the code. So this is the difference. Edit mode, you can click directly, simple right click, but if you want to open in browse mode, you can right click on the member and go with the first option, which is browse. All right, now look at the second option, which is run action. What is this? If I click on run action, it will show some of the options to me. First one is create bound RPG program. So it will create the RPG program, create service program, create RPG module, create program, CRT PGM, and work active job. So this is my additional commands. Okay, so from here we can select any of the commands. So let's say if I select the first one, it will check the sources and it will indicate whatever the result is. So if I do up, it is showing that it is created. So from this we can simply create the source just by like you can just simply compile the source just clicking on run action. So if you click on run action, it will ask, and from the all options you can select any option as per your requirement, and then it will indicate that yes, it is compiled successfully. How we can verify this? So to verify this, what we will do, we will check the member name is test1.rpgle. Go to green screen, just write here work obj test1 and then hit enter. So if you look at Sharmit one, if I take option 8 here, so it will show that creation date is 8/25/23, 4/36/8. Okay, so it is compiled today itself, means at the same time, at the same moment when we click on Control E or run action. So you can also press Control E if you run. Let me show you. Just open your source and press Control E, so it will open these options. In your program, maybe you can see only these options, and it is not visible because this is the customize action. I will show you like how we can add customize actions, but for now you will be seeing only these options. Okay, so if you press Control E or take the option, then it will compile your source. Fine. So this is all about the second option. Now look at the third option, which is for select for compare. This is very important. Why? Let's say if you are working on any project and you want to merge some changes into your production from dev to QA or from or to production. So at that time, it is always recommended to compare your source before moving it, because this will make this will like gives us surety that we are moving only those lines which we wanted to move, right? So for that you can use this option. Just simply go and select for compare. Select here. So it is showing that it is selected for compare. Now if I want to compare it with source number 2, means test 2, so I will go here and select compare with selected, because we have selected the test one. Now we will select the second option, means the fourth option from the list, compare with selected. And if you click here, it will open both the sources in a view manner. Okay, and from there you can easily identify like there are multiple changes. Okay, although this is not a same program, so that's why it is showing that all these lines are missing here, because this is the complete different program. Let me show you. I will copy this member. Let me copy it. So from here I will make it as test let's say 11. Okay, and hit enter. So now what we will do, let me close this again, and here I will select for compare program 1, and for 11 I will go and select with compared. This time both the sources are same, so it is not showing any difference, right? But let's say if here in 11 I write something test, so what it is showing that this green mark is indicating that this is the line which is not there. Let me show you one more time. Instead of editing here, let me go there to make some changes. So instead of 5 I will make it as 50, and 1 2 3 5 we can make it 1 2 3 only. Sharmit, instead of Sharmit we can write text Sharmit. So these are the some changes, right? Also I'm inserting one line, and now I just saved it and closed it. Save. Okay, so now we have some differences in these sources. So let's see. Select for compare test 1, compare with selected test 11. Okay, so now you can see it is highlighting the changes or the differences. This red indication means this is something which is not matched with the green one. Okay, so here you can see it is 5, it is 50. Now if you want to merge this change, means you want to revert the change, so you can simply click here. So what it will do, it will make this version same as this version. So let's me click here. So here it is also make it as 5. Now look at the 10th line. Here it is indicating that this line is also not matching, so I can simply click here to revert the change. So but only click when you want to move these changes to this, otherwise it will change your sources, right? So if you don't want to like here you can see it is not present, right? Password. So if I click here, it will compare, add this 1 2 3 4 5. Even a single extra line will also indicate it. If I remove let's say if I add 3 lines, so it is showing that these red lines are missing from the new source. Okay, so if you click here, it will directly add this. So this is very important and very useful feature whenever there is any issues with your source and you want to compare two sources, like what are the recent changes has been added by the another developer. Let's say you are working with multiple team members and someone has changed something in your source, so you can simply compare your version of program with their version of program. Okay, so I hope it is clear. And same thing, let's say if I want to compare my same source, let's say select for compare. Let me close this first, don't save. So I select the test one as select for compare, and then again test one, I'm comparing it with test one again. So what it will do, it will show uh, my sources in both the view. Okay, if I do page down, it is showing me, and if I make some changes here, so it will also make changes there also, because we are using the same program for the comparison. Okay, don't save. Now let's jump to the second option. So we are done with this compare with selected. Now we have update member text. So let's say if you want to change your member text, so you can simply click here, updated text from VS Code, hit enter. So it will take some time, and then you will see that text will come here, updated text from VS Code. And if you go to green screen, refresh your screen, so you can see text has been added. Because here in green screen when we create, we got the option for adding the text, but here we are not having this option. So at the time of member creation, you can create the member and then you can update the text for the member by using this option, update member text. Okay, now next option is copy member. We have already used this, so I will show you quickly. Like if you want to take a copy of any of the sources, just click on copy member and make sure to change the name. What will happen if I don't change the name? If I hit enter, it is showing cannot copy member to itself. So for that reason, I will make it as 111 and then hit enter. So it was showing the actual path where it is copying it. So you can see it is copied now with everything same. Okay. Next option is rename member. Let's say and due to any reason I want to rename my source, so I can simply go here and make it as only 111. Hit enter. So it is showing error. Why? Let's see. If you expand this, it is showing parameter new member not valid name, because we are just mentioning the 111. We are not putting any characters. So T111. Okay. Now hit enter. This time it should accept this name. Let's wait for a moment. Maybe we can refresh this. Just right click here, go to rename member, and here I will make it as let's say test 50. Hit enter. So it should change the name this time. Yes, so it is changed, even though you can see the T11 is also there, right? And test 50 is also there. Okay, so this is how it changes the name for the existing source. Whenever you want to change the name of any member, just right click here and go for rename member and change. Now let's say if there is any source T111, I don't want to use this anymore, so I will simply go and take this option, delete member. So if I click here, it will ask for the confirmation, and if I want to delete it, so I will click on yes. So it is deleted now. It will take some time and it is removed from here. Okay. Now if I do right click for the next member, next option, which is download. So this is very good feature. You can simply click here on download and it will download source and open a prompt where you can mention your location where you want to download this thing. So let's say if I go here and if I scroll it down, make it as test1 and simply save. So member was downloaded, and if I go to my desktop, you can see here it is test1, and if I open this, it will show me the exact source. So this is the advantage of using VS Code. From here you can simply download your source in just one click. Alright, now let's say there is one file test.txt, or maybe you can see this one. So let me remove some lines of code from here and just save it. Let me close this one, save this one. Okay, so in test1 you can see we have just this is star free and one comment. If I want to upload this source with my means if I want to replace this source with my uploaded code, so will it possible? Yes, it is. You can simply click on upload and replace, then it will ask for the source. So just simply go on desktop, scroll it down, select your source and click on open. So it will take time and it is showing member uploaded. So if I close this and reopen this, let me close this again, right click, okay, click here, right click, upload and replace, go to desktop for selecting the source, scroll it down, select your source and click on open. So after open it will show that member was uploaded. Now refresh it. After refresh it will, you can open the test1.rpgle. Maybe it is taking time. Okay, so let me open this again. Sometime it may take time to, yeah, so now it is uploaded. Okay, so this is how you can upload the source, and you can upload and replace the source. Okay, it might take time, so in that case you can refresh your objects and you can just try to reopen your program 2 times and it will open it for you. So this format is simple, like the process is simple. You just need to download the source, and if there is any if already there are some sources which is downloaded on your system, then you can simply go and click on this upload and replace. So what it will do, it will upload the source from your system and replace it with the selected member. Okay, next option is sort by. So from here you can click on date. So if you click on date, it will sort your sources with the date. Here you can see it is sorted with date. Similarly, if you click on sort by a name, so it will sort your data as per the alphabetic order. So this time it is alphabetical order. Okay, so these are the some very important options that we can use with members. So just right click on member and it will show these options, and then you can use any of the option as per your requirement. Okay, and another good feature of this is whenever you place your cursor, it will show the details of your members. Okay, so yeah, these are the some options that we can discuss, or we have already discussed like these things. Now we will focus on other options. So yeah. Okay, so far we have covered the right click options for the source file, for the member, as well as for the objects. Okay, now we will move one step further and we'll discuss like what are actions and how we can utilize actions. Okay, so what I mean by action is like whenever you see any code and when we try to compile that code, at that time we just normally go and press the Control E. So what it will do, it will open this window where we will find some actions. These are the predefined actions, right? In your case, it might this one might be not visible because this is the one which I have customized by my own. Okay, it is not generated by the extension. So we will discuss like how we can add, how we can customize these options if we want to customize these actions. So what is the process for that? Okay, same thing you can also open with right click here. Just second option is run action, which is, and the shortcut is Control E. So if you click on run action, it will open this window. Okay, fine. So let's see how we can customize it. So for that, what we can do, simply locate this icon, setting icon, take your mouse there, and then you will find one option for actions. Just click there. Once you click there, it will open a work with action screen, and here you will find all the predefined actions like create bound COBOL program, create module CBLLE, create bound RPG program, service program. So all the, like, it is divided into three part: members, stream file, as well as objects. Okay, so from this you can easily check what all command is being run by behind this. So if I click on create bound RPG program, so it will show me the exact command. So this is the exact command that is being run by this action create bound, and this is the action name. Okay, so from here you can simply see like what all commands is being hitted by this particular action. All right, now we will see how we can create our own. Like if you want to check the existing one, you can simply go here, click on actions, and then click on the existing command, and it will show you the exact command which is being run by the action. But what if we want to run create our own commands or own actions? So for that you can simply go here in actions button, and here if you scroll down you will find one option for new action. So just click there. So here once you click on new add action button, I will show you again. Simply go here, click on actions, then scroll it down, and there you will find one option for new action. Okay, so just simply click there and it will open this screen. So here what we need to do, we need to pass the action name, like which action name you want to give, so that it will be displayed to the user. So let's say we want to create a action for deleting the spool file. So for that I will give the name as delete all spool. Okay, now we need one command which we want to run behind the section. So for that you can simply go to the green screen, just run one command, dlt splf. If you are not aware of the command, you can simply write this dlt splf, press Ctrl F4, and here is spool file. You can write, take F4 again, use star select in file. Okay, now press shift F2 to copy the command, and this is the command which we use to delete the spool files. Okay, don't hit it, I will show you splf. So there are many spool files, right? But we will delete this using our action button. So let's go to the green VS Code again. Here I will paste this command. So what it will do, whenever user click on this delete all spool action, it will run this command and delete all spool file. Alright, so here you will find some more information regarding the member, how it is picking the library name, source name. Okay, now where we want to show this command, on rpgle, rpg, or let's say if I want to show this on SQL rpgle as well, so I will make it as SQL rpgle. Okay, make sure that whenever you are mentioning here extension, it would be only visible to that program source only, otherwise it will not be visible. Let's say if I'm just passing here rpgle, so in case of rpg it would not be visible. Okay, now in types, you can by default you can select it as member, or if you are doing it for object or streamline, you can change accordingly. For environment, you can make q shell PASE run as ile command. So we are running ile command, so just go with default and simply click on save. So once you click on save, it is added. You can see here in member block it is added. Let's go to green here, and here I will press cut. Either you can take right click and click on run action, so you will find one option, delete all spool. Just click there. Once you click, it will show you this was successful. Now go to green screen, just refresh it, and you can see the spool file is being deleted. Why? Because we click on the action button, which is used to create the clear the spool file. Let me show you again. Just go to work mbr pdm. For a time being, I am just compiling one source so that it will generate some spool files. Now if I show you, there are two spool file. Let's go and run the action again. This time I'm pressing Ctrl E and selecting delete all spool. It is showing successful. Going to green screen, SP again, you can see there is no spool file. Okay, so accordingly you can delete the spool file, or as per like your requirement, you can use any command. There are some command which is not used, like you are not supposed to use here, but most of the command you will be able to run here with actions. Okay, let me show you few more things. Go to actions. Now I want to customize this. Let's say before executing, because this is very crucial command, right? Before executing this command, I want to show this command to user, like this is the exact command which is being called. So for this reason, I'm using question mark at the beginning of the command, so it will allow the prompt. Let's see how. Just I saved it. I just added the question mark there. So if I press Ctrl E here, click on delete all spool file, you can see this time it is asking me, are you sure? Press enter to confirm, or escape to cancel. So if user want to go with this command, he can press enter, otherwise he can skip this. Okay, so whenever you want to prompt the user the exact command, you can use question mark. All right, and one more thing I want to show you. Let's say if I go on the same, and here let's say if I don't want to show this this command as on rpg, on SQL rpgle. Okay, so I just make it as rpgle and save it. Now if I check, if I right click here and go to run action, here it is visible delete spool file, but if I check this in SQL rpgle member, there is no option, right? So this is how it works. If you are not mentioning the exact member name, it will not allow us to show the action button. Fine, let's try a few more commands. So for that I will go here, new actions, jobs. My action name is jobs, and here I will run work act job. Okay, so I want to hit this command work active job, where on all of my sources like SQL rpgle as well, SQL rpgle. Now simply other options at default, I will click on save. Now if I press Ctrl E, just close this, and either you can take right click, otherwise I can press Ctrl E. So you can see there is one action for jobs. If I click here,
it will take some time, and you can see action jobs was successful. If I click on output, you can see active jobs are printed. So some command you can see on output as well, so you can simply go and check here. Okay, so this is the list of work active job. So with the help of this command, I can let me clear this. Okay, and let me rerun this. Control E, running jobs. So it is indicating all active jobs. If you scroll up, you can see it is successful, and it is showing me the exact work active job command, which we can see here on green screen. We can use work act job, hit enter. So this is the list which is coming here. Okay, so now you got the advantage of this run action. Another thing, there might be some commands which are not being we are not supposed to use here. Let me show you that one also. Let me go to new action. Here I will make it as pdm. Okay, action name is pdm, and here I will try to run work mbr pdm. Other options would be same, just adding the sql rpgle, sql rpgle. Others are default, save. So I just added this option. If I try to run this action, which is pdm, it will show action pdm for sharmit1 slash functions was not successful. Why? If you want to know that, just click on show output, and here it is indicating one error found on work member pdm command. You can add this thing, event def. Whenever you want to see the complete error message, you can add this. How? Let me show you. Just simply go to the actions again. We are already in actions, so just click on pdm, and here I want to say like what all errors are there. So I will make it as options and click on save, then click on run action and click on pdm. So this time error would be same because we are not supposed to use this command, but it will give some extra information like fetching errors for sharmit1 this error found on work member pdm command work member not allowed in this setting. So we got the answer. So this is how this eventf command is useful, event of option. So whenever you want to see the exact reason of the issue, you can simply go and add this option, but it is not applicable for all commands. For some cases it will not be allowed, but it will show you the exact issue. If it is not allowed, you can simply remove it, but most of the commands you can run with the help of actions. Okay, so let me quickly recap all these things. What is action? Whenever you want to run any command, pre-existed command, you can simply either go and take right click on the member and then select the run action, or you can press Ctrl E. So once you press Ctrl E or run action button, it will open this window from where which you can select the commands. If you want to see any existing command, you can simply go here, click on actions. From here you can select any of the command which you want to see, like what all command we are running behind this. And if it is started with question mark, it means it will be displayed to user before it executed. Okay, it will show the prompt, but if it is not there, it will be executed directly. Got it? Here we need to mention the extension where we want to show the command like dspf, rpg, rpgle, whatever the thing you need. And here you need to mention the member, type of member, and ILE environment. Okay, from here drop down you can select as per your requirement. Okay, next thing is you can add your own command or action. Just simply click on new actions. Here you can pass your details like new action name, command to run, all the description is there. If you are creating stream file command, you can select this, otherwise you can select object. Okay, and same thing you can mention here, extensions, types, ILE, and just simply click on save. For now I am doing cancel because I don't want to create anymore. Now if you would like to delete any of the command, you can simply go and let me run this again. Yeah, so here you can simply go and right click just open it. After open, you can see there is one option, delete. So simply click on delete. It will ask for the confirmation. If you would like to delete it, just click on yes, and it will be removed. So next time when you do the right click or run action, it will not be visible to you. Okay, so this is how we can create our own actions with the help of this icon actions. Okay, in some cases it would be visible here, but if it is not visible here, you can simply go and check, just hover your mouse here and it will show this option for actions. Okay, so this is how we can utilize, and we can create our actions, we can customize the actions, as well as we can create our own actions. Okay, okay, so now we will discuss about the terminals. What is terminal? Terminal is something where you can run either your bash command or the normal command which you run on your green screen. Most of the time we see that people avoid using VS Code because they don't want to run the output on a different editor, like they are using access client solution for calling the programs for seeing the output, right? But now we have one option here in VS Code itself from where you can just verify your output as well. Okay, so how to use that? Let me show you that process. So for that, you just need to take your mouse cursor on this settings button, and if you take your cursor here, it will open these three options from which we have already covered this actions button. So here just go and click on the terminals. It will provide you two types of terminal, PASE terminal and 5250 terminal. So let's say I want to go with a PASE terminal. So just click here. Once you click here, it will open a bash terminal for you. So whenever there is a need to run the bash command, you can click on paste terminal, and here let's say for example I want to run this command echo and sharmit. This is my bash command, right? So if I hit enter, it will be printed. You can see sharmit is printed. So accordingly, as per your requirement, you can write your bash command here on this terminal. So this is the one type of terminal. You can simply go on terminals. From here you can select the paste for bash command. Now, if you want to check your output or the program result, you can simply click on 5250. Once you click on 5250, it will open this UI for you. So now I think you recall that same thing we do on green screen. So from here you can perform the same operation. For that, I just need to close one of my session here, because in pub400 we can run only two session at a time. So I just closing this, and here I can log in. So just put your ID Sharmit and your password. Okay, I just put my password. Sometime it might be possible that it will show your cursor somewhere else. This is just a display problem, so that's not an issue. You can press tab key to move from one field to another field. Let's say if your icon for username is showing here, so that's it. That is okay, right? You can just put wherever it is showing your icon, you can insert your value and then press tab key to move to the second place, and then hit enter. So once you click enter, you can see here, you can see all the same thing you can do here. If you want to run any query, select star from emp, you can run. It will show you the exact data as we see in our normal access client solution. Okay, similarly, if you want to run any program, let's say I want to run this program functions, I can run, and dsp job log. Here you can see if I press F10 and shift F6, it will show that output is printed, which is the current date. Okay, so from here, this terminal, you can run all those commands which you usually go and run on the green screen. So now it is a bit easier for us, because we can create our program here, we can compile here, and if you want to see the output, you can directly run your program here as well. Okay, so this is the advantage of terminals. You can see it is same like work mbr pdm. If you do this, it will show all the sources. Overall, like we are running the same machine but on VS Code. Okay, so, and if you would like to close this session, like you can simply go and click here after sign off. So these are the two very important options, PASE and 5250 terminal.
which you can use as per your requirement. If you would like to go with the bash command, you can select PASE, and if you would like to go with the green screen commands, CL commands, then you can go with the 5250 terminal. Okay. Okay, so now we will discuss how we can convert the fixed format code into free format using VS Code extension. Okay, because it is a bit tedious work for the developer to change each line, each and every line one by one from fixed format to free format, because nowadays we are writing code in fully free format only. So it is always recommended to write the code in fully free format, because now fixed format is bit like it is old thing. Okay, so how we can do this? One way, like for example, I just open this program add opcode.rpgle. So this code is in fixed format, right? Now if I want to convert this to free format, how we can do this? One way is to convert one by one each line, but it would be time taking, because we are converting this num1. First of all, we will declare it in free format, then num2 result, and for now we have only 30 lines of code, but it might be more than thousands lines of code, right? So in this case it would be difficult. So to make it easy, we have one option. Using VS Code, we can install one extension which will help us to convert this code into free format. Let's see how. Right now, if I right click on this code, there is no option for converting, right? But we can add that option using installing one extension. So for that, you just need to go on this extension, or you can press Ctrl Shift X. So I'm clicking here. Here you can write RPG free. So once you write this, you will rpgle, okay, rpgle free. Then you will find this option rpgle free. Just click here, Brian J. Garland, the person. Okay, so this extension is the open source extension. You can simply click on install. So once you click on install, it will take some time, and then it will be installed into your system. Once it is installed, you will find the option for converting the, here you can see it is installed, right? So now if I close this extension and go to my source again, then here if I take right click, you can see there is one option for convert to free format. Okay, another important thing before you use this option, make sure that here it should show the language as rpgle. If it is not showing rpgle, just click here, change it. And if rpgle is not the, although it auto detects the language, but if it is not detecting, you can simply go and make it as rpgle and just select this. Okay, it should indicate only rpgle because this code is in rpgle format, right? Now right click here, convert to free format. So you can see in a one go it converts entire code into free format. Okay, previously it was in fixed format, but in a single click we can simply convert this thing into free format, in a fully free format. Okay, so this is the advantage of using this rpgle free extension. Okay, one more thing, we know that fixed format should be at the proper location, otherwise it might give error. So let's say if there is any wrong data which is not in a correct position, and if you try to convert it to free format, you can see that particular line is skipped because it was not in a correct order, right? And that's why it keep it as it is, other lines has been converted to free format. So the prior requirement is that, the prerequisite is that, like your code should be correct, only then we can convert it into fully free format, otherwise it will give error. Okay, so, and if your code is proper, means if your code is okay, then you can simply click on convert to free and it will be converted into fully free format with a proper indentation and everything. Okay, you can see star free is also added here. So this is the advantage of using this. Okay, what will happen if I try to convert it again? Nothing will change. Why? Because everything is already in free format. So how we can convert free to again free? Okay, so using this extension, you can simply convert your code from fixed format to fully free format. What are the requirement? First of all, you need to install the extension. For this you need to go here, just search for rpgle free with the name Brian J. Garland, and then you can click on install. Here you will find some information as well if you want to go through these information, like when it is published, last release, last updated, how to run from local, how to use. Okay, so it will show this thing, all these information. One more thing, let's say if I again convert it to free, I'm pressing Ctrl Z to convert it free fix. Now if I want to convert the specific two lines into free format, so I can just simply go and select those lines, and then I can click on right click, convert to free. You can see only these two line has been converted. So whatever the line you want to convert, you can select those lines. Let's say if I want to convert this line only, select this, click on convert to free, and it is okay. Let me select this properly. Like if you are not selecting it properly, it will not give into change. Let me check what is, yeah, so position is okay. Let me select this line, right click, and convert to free format. So you can see now it is converted to free format, and also it will give this pop-up message that selected text converted to free format. So now it is a bit easy for us, like whenever you see there is a program in a project where everything is written in fixed format and you want to convert it to fully free format, in that case you can simply go and install this extension of VS Code, and after that it will enable a option for convert to free format. And once you click on there, like it will simply go and convert the everything into free format. And if you want to go for a specific line, just select those lines and do the right click and click on the convert to free format. Okay, so this is how we can use this free rpgle free extension. Just make sure that after installing the extension, there should be one option for convert to free. It will automatically come. And another thing is, very important thing is this language, it should only show the rpgle, not other than this, otherwise it will not work. Okay, so yeah, this is all about this extension.
Okay, so far we have discussed how to use VS Code extension in order to convert fixed format code into free format code, right? In today's portion, like in this portion, we are going to discuss about the another extension of VS Code through which we can execute SQL queries, CL commands as well as PASE command, means shell scripts. Okay, so how to do this and what is the exact extension which we need to install before using the ibmi notebook. So for that, you just need to click on this icon which is for extension. Either you can click here or you can press that key Control Shift or X. So once you click here, it will open this window from where you can search your extension. And here in these two drop down, like you can see, it is showing the installed extension as well as recommended. But you can directly go to search box and search for ibmi notebook. So once you search this term ibmi notebook, it will show you, let me search it, ibmi notebook. It will show you one option to install the ibmi notebook. Before that, you just need to search for that particular book, ibmi notebook. So yeah, here it is, ibmi notebooks. So you can search this, and once you find this extension, just click here. It will ask for install, and before installing, like if you would like to check all these information, you can scroll it down. Here you can see it adds an ibmi notebook which allows user to create notebooks to run CL command, run command in page, or shell script execute SQL statement. It depends on code for ibmi. Okay, what is the point of a notebook? You can find some description here. How to use is mentioned here, like to use this, connect to a ibmi using VS Code, using code for ibmi, create a file with .inb, which is ibmi notebook extension, open an .inb file, and here you can write your queries and whatever the thing you want to run.
So these are the things that we can execute with the help of this notebook. If you want to check for the feature contribution, you can find it here. Dependencies here, like this is needed. Okay. Now we will simply click on install. So once you click on install, it will take a few moments and then it will install it for your VS Code. So just for wait for a while. Yeah, here it is installed now. Okay, now simply go to the ibmi box again, and here what I will do, I will create one member, and we know how to create member, right? We have already discussed. So I will just click on this icon. Either you can create your file here or in the IFS browser. Okay, better to go with IFS browser because there you can store for a longer time. So for now I will click here for create member. You can give any name, so I will make it as tech, or you can make it as sharmit.inb. So with this extension you need to create the file, which is ibmi notebook.inb. Hit enter. So once you hit enter, it will open this file for you, and here you can see there are multiple options through which we can use this notebook. First option is code, second is markdown, third is run all. Then we have one disable button for clear all output. This will be enabled once we run some queries. Then these triple dot have three options. Then this code and markdown is here also, like the same thing is populated here also, because these are the most commonly used buttons. And from here it is showing that we are using ibmi notebook as a current kernel. Okay, so let's see how we can use this. So first of all, I will show you about markdown. What is markdown? Okay, either you can go by these two option or by these, because all both are the same, right? So I will click here for markdown. So markdown is basically mainly used for heading purpose. Okay, so let's say I want to give a heading to this notebook, so I will press hash here, and here I will make it as tech space Sharmat space notebook. Okay, and then simply find like simply hit enter and go here, and there then you will find this option for stop editing cell. So once you click here, you can see now it becomes heading. Okay, so markdown is used to create the heading. If you hover your mouse here, then it will show again code and markdown option here, so that you can append the things below. So let's add one more markdown here. Here I will make SQL queries. So this is my subheading. For main heading I use hash, but for subheading I am writing it directly. Then click on this icon, stop editing cell. So this is now this is our, like if I want to edit this, I can edit as well, queries. Okay, or you can write SQL commands with output. Okay, and then simply click on this OK button. So now we have added the heading as well as subheadings. Okay, so after adding this, we can run the codes here. The overall purpose of using this notebook is to share the same detail within your team. Let's say if you are working for a project and you are executing some of the queries and you want to share it with your team members, so what you can do, you can simply customize your notebook, and then that notebook you can share with your team members. So we just learn about this markdown option. Now we will see the next thing, which is code. Just click on code. Once you click on code, it will show this kind of screen, and at the bottom you can see SQL is selected. So if I select here, it will give few options like SQL, markdown we have already covered, CL and shell script. For now we will go with SQL. So here we need to write the SQL query. So let's say I want to run the query select star from Sharmit1. Here you need to use dot, and table name is table1. So I'm done with my query. Then simply go and click here, which is for execute cell, or you can use the shortcut Control Alt and enter. So I will click here. The moment I click here, it will show this data. So this data is coming from my actual table, table 1. Okay. So if I go and execute the same query on my green screen, select star from Sharmit1 slash table 1. So you can see same data here is available, right? Okay. So this is the advantage of SQL. Now in the same manner, let's say if I want to add one more thing, not the markdown, one more query. Let's say if I put something which is wrong, select star from Sharmit1 dot table 2, which is not there in my system. Okay, so if I try to run this, it will show me the error message, table 2 in Sharmit1 type, star file not found, 42704 error. Okay, in the same manner, once you correct your command, if I click here, let's say if I run another command, select star from Sharmit1 dot emp, and if I run this command, it will show the data for emp table. Okay, so this is how we can use this code block for writing the queries. Now you can see other two options are enabled, like we covered the code, not all the things. In code there are many things. I will tell you just after completing this option. Okay, so code is for code we have just completed the SQL part, then markdown, and then this option is for run all. So what it will do, whatever the query you have written so far, it will execute this all at one go. So I'm clicking here, you can see all the queries again processing. Okay, so let's say if you are you have written hundreds of queries here, so just click here and it will open execute all of them. The next thing is clear all output. So if you click here, it will clear the output and keep the queries only. Okay, now we have these triple dot. If you click here, firstly it will ask for the first option is for the customize notebook layout. So if you want to customize your notebook layout, you can click here. There are multiple options as per your requirement. You can change any of them, like cell toolbar visibility. If you want to click hover, okay, then we have other options, drag and drop enabled. So these options you can turn on as per your requirement. Just check it out, all these options, and customize your notebook as per your requirement. Okay, I'm closing it for now. Going to triple dot again, then we have this option toggle breadcrumbs. So if I click here, you can see now it is showing the path at the top, Sharmit1 q Sharmit.inb, then text Sharmit notebook, and then this query. So if I click here, it will show further queries. Like if I want to directly jump to any specific query, I can click here and it will indicate me that query. It is highlighted now. So in same manner you can use this breadcrumb. Okay, so for now I'm closing it, and let's say if there is another thing, if I click on triple dot, then we have one option, toggle notebook line number. So if I click here, it will show you the number of the lines in each cell. Like here only one, then 1 and 2. Okay, so these are the commonly used options. For now I am removing this. Okay, now let's see, we want to add one more markdown for CL commands. All right, so just editing, stop the editing, and here I will run some CL commands. So for that you just need to go and click plus code. Here you can run before running the command, you need to select the CL from here. So I will select the CL. SQL is done, markdown is done. Now we are discussing about CL. Okay, so for CL command you can run any command. Let's say if I want to run dspfd for my file emp, this is the most useful command, right? dspfd, and if I run this command, you will see it will show all the details, and this is the same command which we run on our green screen normally. So if I show you this command here, dsp FDEMP. So you can see these all details have been printed over the VS Code, right? So this is how we can use uh, code for the CL command in order, and if you want to clear the output, just click here and it will clear the output. Now I will show you another command. Click on code. CL is already selected, so I will simply go and run work active job, and if I run this command, it will show me the all the active jobs. You can see here we can find the all active jobs. Okay, so this is the advantage of this thing. And again, if you would like to clear out all output, just click here, and if you want to run all output, just all queries, you can click here. It will run all the queries. So you can see all the query has been initiated. Okay, now clearing this again. And another thing we want to see is if I click here, so if there is any command which is not you like allowed here, let's say if I want to run this command work mbr pdm, and if I try to run this command, it will not execute. It will give the error command work member not allowed in this setting. So if any command is which is not supposed to use, it will give the error for that particular command. So click on plus code again, and now we will move to the next thing, which is shell script. So click here. This is mainly used for shell scripting. Let's say if you want to print something, so you can use, although it is not connected yet, so I will still show you how to use this. So echo sharmet, and if I try to run this, for now it will give me a message that are you connected, but if you are connected with the shell script, it will not give this kind of error, and it will execute your queries. Okay, now we will see few more options. Like here you can see there are multiple options given, right? So if you take your mouse here, it will show execute above cell. So what it will do, once you click here, it will execute all this above cell. Okay, you can see all the cells has been executed. For now I'm clearing the output again. Then we have this option. If I go here and if I show you this option, execute cell and below. So what it will do, it will execute all the commands which is written after this cell, along with this cell. Okay, so this cell also has been executed, and other below cell has been executed. Okay, so clearing the output again. Then we have next option as split. So you can click here, split cell. Now the cell has been splitted. Then we have these multiple options, which is very useful, like copy cell. Let's say if I want to copy this work member cell, so I will simply click here, copy cell, go here, and after this I will go and right click on paste cell. So you can see cell has been copied here. Okay, in the same manner, if you want to check for other options, copy cell is there, cut cell. Let's say if I want to cut this cell, so cell has been removed. Now if I click here, go for the paste cell again, so it is pasted here. Okay, then we have next option as insert cell. If you want to insert a cell above to this cell, the current selected cell, then you can click here and you can see new cell has been added. Similarly, if you want to insert a cell below, you can click on below cell, cell has been inserted. And likewise, if you want to go insert markdown cell above, so it will add a markdown cell. So this is now markdown cell. And if you want to add markdown cell below, you can click here and it will add a markdown cell below to the cell. So mainly like the cell which you have already selected, it will add either above or below cells to that particular selected cell. Okay, and there are some shortcuts as well, control shift enter, control enter, so you can use them. Okay, then we have change cell to code. Yeah, this is very important. Let's say if I want to convert this heading into code, so I can click here, go to change cell to code. So if you click here, you can see now it is written as code, not as a markdown. Similarly, if I select any code cell and if I go and select this option change cell to markdown, so it will be converted to markdown again. Okay, now next option is join with previous cell. If I click here join with previous cell, so it will combine these two cells. Okay, and if you close here, it is combined now. These two cell has been combined. Likewise, if I click on this option join with next cell, so it will join the next cell. You can see now the cell has been joined. Then we have option join selected cell. If you have selected some cell, you can click here and it will select the it will join the selected cell. Next option is copy cell down. If I click here, you can see it will copy the selected cell and paste it just below to it. Copy cell down. Then we have show cell line numbers. If I click here, you can see it is showing the number but only for the specific cell, and this option toggle line number is for all the cells, but here you can see it is showing numbers for only the selected cell. Click on triple dot again. Then we have toggle cell toolbar position. So if you want to shift this option to the left side, just click here, and now you can see this option is moved to left hand side. Likewise, if you want to go again right, you can re-click again, and you can see it is at the right side. Then this option is for deleting the cell. If you are not going to use any cell you can simply go and delete it. Okay, so yeah, these are the some very useful options, and overall purpose of this notebook is to execute the cl command, shell script command, as well as sql command. Mostly people use it for the sql commands, and like for if you are using this, then there is no need to go again and again on green screen, because you can simply run your queries here and it will show you the exact output, and then you can write your code in the VS Code itself. Okay, and these are the some shortcut tricks like run all, above, execute all, below, split screen. Then we have some options for copy, cut, paste of the cells. So these you can use as per your requirement. Okay, so this is all about this INB. And what will happen, let's say if I save this command, just save it, and if I go to green screen and if I do the refresh here, so here you can see .inb file is there, but if I take option 5, it will show something like this. Okay, so this thing you can open only in your VS Code, not here in the green screen. But if you click on VS Code, it will again open an editor for you, and all the saved commands is there here, right? So now if you want to share these all data, let's say if you are executing multiple queries for your project, so you can just note it down here with headings and subheadings, and then you can share the same with your team member, so he can use those commands and he can understand what all things you have executed. Okay, so this is the whole sole purpose of using this IBMI notebook. So steps are clear. You just need to install the function extension first. For that you can go here on extension box. From here you can install this IBMI notebook. Once it is installed, then simply go either on your IFS or on your source browser, their object browser, and then simply add one member with extension .inb, and once it is added, then you can run all of these options. Okay, so yeah, now we will discuss another topic. Okay, so far we have discussed about the notebook for IBMI, right? Which we were using for executing some CL commands for SQL queries, as well as for some PASE commands, right? Now what we will do, we will install another extension which will help us to execute all the DB2 related operations. Okay, so for that we need to install one extension. In order to install the extension, you need to click here on this extension box. But before that, you can see that so far we have only these options, right? There is no option for the DB2. But the moment when we install that extension, it will add the icon for DB2 here. Okay, so let's see how. So for that, you have to click here on extensions box, or you can press your shortcut key Control Shift or X. For now, I am just clicking here. Once you click, it will show two categories. One is the install extension, and second one is a recommended. So from here you can directly go to this search box and just search for DB2 for I. The moment when you write db2 for I, it will list down some of the extensions. From all of these extensions, we need to install this one, db2 for ibmi. Okay, then you can simply click here, or you can directly search this db2 for ibmi. Okay, so just click here. Once you click here, it will open. Let me close this terminal part. Yeah, so here you can see it is giving the all the information regarding this extension, like what are the details, what are the feature contribution, dependency, and many other things. So you can see server component, building from source, all these information has been mentioned here. So just go and simply click here on install. So once it is installed, it will show you two options. One is for the uninstalling, because now the extension is installed, so it will show the option to uninstall, and another option would be there for disabled. Okay, so let me go again. So now you can see there is one new icon, db2 for I. Previously it was not there. Previously till ibmi, all the icon was still ibmi, right? But now we have one more icon, db2 for I. So let me close this window and click here, db2 for I. So overall this extension provides three categories. First one is schema browser, second one is query history, and third one is examples. So let's go one by one. So we'll start from the schema browser. So if I expand this, you will see there are two options. First one is manage schema browser list, and second one is refresh schema browser. So let's go with the first one. If I click here, it will ask for an update. An update to the database servers component is required. So just click here on update. It will take some time, and then it will be ready. So you can see it is showing retrieving schema for texture method. By default, yeah, so we got the message, it is successfully installed, has been updated. The moment it is updated, it will show this on the manage. So if I click again on manage schema, it will show this list. From here you can see there are multiple schemas available on the system, but make sure that whatever the schema you are using, it should be your own. Do not affect someone else's schema. Okay, so by default it is on Sharmit 1 because this is my own. So as from the user name, it automatically selected my default schema, and these are the available, these are the currently selected schemas. So just I will go with my same with the same schema. I will click here on OK. Fine. Another option is for refresh schema browser. So if I click here, it will take time and it will refresh the schema. Now let's move further. Here you can see on right click, you can see two options, set current schema or remove schema from view. Okay, so these two options you can select. I will expand this. So after expanding this, you can see there are multiple categories: aliases, functions, global variables, indexes, procedures, tables, triggers, types, and views. So what it will do, the moment when you click or expand this, let's say for example, I will expand aliases. As of now, I don't have any aliases created in my schema, so it is not showing anything. It is showing data not found. But if you have created, if there is something as an alias in your schema, it will list down those aliases there. Okay, likewise for the functions, if I expand this, right now it is showing no items to load because I haven't created any functions so far. Okay, maybe we can create later or we will discuss it again, but for now I'm just telling you that if you have already created some functions or aliases, it would be shown here, like it would get displayed here. Same goes with global variables. So you can see right now no index, and then we have indexes. For indexes, there are some indexes which I have already created. So you can see likewise it will show for the aliases, functions, and global variable. Now if you select any of the index, let's say I want to select this index. So if I click here, right click here, and just right click on this index, and it will give you three options: generate SQL, delete, or rename. So what generate SQL will do? The moment when you click here on generate SQL, it will show you the exact query which was executed in order to create this index. So this is the query: create index sharmit1.idx underscore student underscore id for system name, idx this on sharmit1.student student ACS. ASC. Okay. Also, it is showing some information like version v7r5, generated on date. It is showing relational database, db2 for ICE, standard options. So likewise, if you want to check which query you have executed for that particular index or functions or global variable, you can click on generate SQL and it will show you the exact query. Okay, let me don't save this. Yeah. Now another option is for delete. If you click here, it will ask for the confirmation, and if you would like to delete, you can click on yes. Otherwise, you can click on no. So you can see IDX is deleted now. Third option is for rename. If you would like to rename this thing, so let's say new. So it is renamed. Okay, renamed IDX to new. Now this index would be called as a rename. If I click on generate SQL, it is changed, right? So this is how it works. So likewise, we will move for the further thing, which is procedures. So if you have created any procedure, it will show here. Otherwise, it will show no item load. Then we have tables, and there are many tables in this schema. So you can see there are various tables. Okay. So for example, we will refer this EMP table. Okay, because this is the one which we have created recently, and in our previous sessions, we are also using this. So here you will find one option. So first option is for view contents. So if I click here, what it will do, it will execute, it will provide me the query which is for printing the data. So you can see in ibmi result, it is showing me the exact data which is in our EMP table, and this is the query which it executes. Select star from sharmit1.emp as a. Okay, if in any case you are not able to, you are not getting this window for output, so what you can do, you can simply go here on output, click here, select ibmi result, and then it would be displayed to you. Okay, fine. If you want to do some modification here, you can do, like if I want to print only the first name, not the entire column, I will make it like this. And to run, either you can click on this run button, or you can press Ctrl R from your keyboard. So you can see now the query has been changed and only first name is getting displayed. Okay, so from on this part you can execute any query which you want to run. Okay, so fine. For now I'm closing this. So whenever you want to see the data of any table, EMP data is there, from like from this, or you can find any table and you can just click here and it will um, execute the select query for that table. Now if you expand this table, you will find the column details, like what all columns is there, what are the types of column, what all attribute we have set, like first name, last name, age, salary, country, numbers. So all these information you will find once you expand this table. Now once you right click on this table, you will find few more options like generate SQL. This is the same. If you click here, it will show you the query which was executed to create the table. So this is the query, create or replace table sharmit1.emp, first name, last name, age, salary, country, numbers, record format. So whatever the things by default set, it is also showing that, like CCS ID is set here. Okay, so likewise you can find the exact query which was executed in order to create that particular table on which you have taken right click. Next option is clear. So before clear, I don't want to clear this. So what I will do, I will copy. So what I can do, I will click on copy data, and here we need to pass the new name of the file. So let's say new uh, test. Okay, in library, here you can pass the library name where you want to create it, from member, like from which member you want to. Let's say if it was a multi-member physical file, in that case we can specify the member as well, like from which member we want to copy. By default it is taking from star first, then to member, to which like whenever we are creating a new file, so in which member we want to store this. So by default it is going on first member. Replace or add record, I want to add. So from these options you can select add, replace, update. Okay, so I will go and select on add, then create file. If file is not there, you can click on yes, otherwise you can click on no. print format, you can select hex or character. By default it is on character, so let's click on copy. So you can see it is showing table copied. So if I show you, there should be the name new table, new test. So let me search for it. Yeah, here it is, new test. So if I execute this query by clicking here, view content, so you can see data is here. Okay, we haven't write any insert query, still data is here because we copied the data from the emp table. Now we on this table we can use that query, right option, clear data. So if I click here, it will ask for the confirmation. If I go with yes, it will be cleared. And if I rerun this query, you can see now it is showing loaded 0, end of data, because we have cleared the data. Okay, so this is very crucial option. If you don't want to clear any data, then don't click here. Then we have option for delete, that we will see later, because if right now if I delete something, then we can't see the other options. So let me show you this option, rename. If you want to rename this, let's say new test 1 and hit enter. So this time it is renamed. Okay, you can see. Likewise, we have another option as for advised indexes. If I click here, it will show if there is any advised indexes, it will show that, otherwise it will show like this. Okay, next option is clear all advised indexes. If you want to clear, you can click on yes, otherwise you can click on no. So right now it is showing row not found because there is no advised indexes. Then we have one option, get related objects. So if you want to find out all the related objects of that particular file, then you can click on get related objects. So this is the another option. And then we have get indexes. If you want to get the indexes, you can click here. Some of the option is not showing anything because we haven't satisfied that criteria. That's why it is not showing the output. Okay, so these are the mainly options that we can use over the table, and there are various things like you can expand one by one each column and it will show the attribute, data type, length of each table. Okay, so mostly we use this table portion. Now I will unexpand this. Similarly, we have triggers. If you have created any trigger, it will show like this. Okay, if you want to check the SQL, you can click on generate SQL, it will show, but for now it is showing null pointer error due to Java. Maybe something wrong with this trigger, that's why it is not showing this. But if you have any other trigger, you can simply click on right click and it will show you the exact query which is used to create that particular trigger. Then we have types. If you remember in our previous sessions, we discussed about the types of the SQL. We created some of the type like gender type, phone number, so we can use those. So if I click here on generate SQL, it will show you that exact query which we run last time. Create type Sharmit.phone number as decimal 10 of 0, array 50. Okay, so this is how we can select option. There are two options, generate SQL or delete. So this is all about types. Then we have views. If you have created any view, it will be shown here. So if I run, like if you want to run the view, you can click here simply and it will show you the data if there is any. Right now there is no data. Let me see if there is any data in cust view. Yes, here one record is there, one cust1@gmail.com. So you can see it is showing loaded 1 end of data. Okay, so this is all about the views. So you can simply select here, right click option are for generate SQL and copy data, delete, rename. These are the same option that we saw on table part. Okay, let me unexpand this. So we have covered this schema browser. Now we'll move further. Further is for query history. Previously it was not there, but we executed some of the queries. That's why it is coming here. So what is the use of this query history? Let's say if you have executed multiple queries, now you want to check like what all queries you have executed so far. So you can expand this and it will show you all the queries which you have executed so far. So you can see these are the queries that we have run so far on this schema. Okay, if you would like to clear the query history, you can click here and it will be cleared. Okay, so this is just for the purpose if you want to relook at the query, like what all queries you have executed. Let's say if you are working for a project and somehow someone got deleted the record, so in that case we can verify through the query history, like what all queries has been executed and what was the exact like what was the exact query which was executed in order to delete the record. Then we have examples. This is very useful thing. Let's say if you want to customize a query, you don't want to run or create any query, but you want to customize it. So you can simply find the examples here. Let's me expand this one. So here you can see there are multiple queries. If you want to rename the table, for example, so just click here. It will give you the exact query. Okay, and from this query, what right now it is doing, before this I will show you one table data. Select star from table 1, or let me give the library name also, sharmit1 dot table 1. Okay, let's select this, control R. Okay, it is showing table 1 is not there. Let me check with emp if it is there. Control A, control R. Okay, let me check another, sharmit dot emp. Yeah, so you can see now the data is here. Okay, sharmit1 dot emp. Now if you would like to rename this table, then how to do this? So for that you can simply close this, click on rename table, and here you can customize. Let's say right now it is showing table 1. Instead of that I will write emp and I will make it as emp2 and just run this query. So it is executed. Now if you again try to execute the query on emp, select star from sharmit1 dot emp, and if you run this query it will show it is showing. If you run emp2, here you can see emp2, it is showing data for emp2 as well. Okay, and let me change the name again, rename table emp2 with emp with tab. Okay, so just run this, execute it. Now if I run the query, select star from sharmit1 dot emp2, so it is showing emp2 is not there because it is renamed now. And if I run tab, it is there. Okay, so this is how you can simply rerun the predefined example in order to rename your file. Okay, so likewise if you want to create any schema, you can click here. If you want to click like drop view cascade, you can use this. Refresh tables, there are various examples, you can select any of them. So these all are for related to DDL, data definition language. Similarly we have DML. If you want to insert any record, let's say, so just click here and it will show you the query and you can customize it as per your requirement. Okay, so these all query example are related to the DML, data manipulation language. Similarly we have for data control language, DCL queries. Then we have for routines, functions or procedure statements, special registers, built-in global variables, miscellaneous queries like QCM, DXC call. You just need to click here and it will show you the exact syntax. Then you can customize it as per your requirement. Okay, let me close these executed query windows so that, yeah. So miscellaneous is done. Then we have ibmi services. Then we have db2 for I services, systool for you, built-in functions, geospatial analytics. So these are the various examples you can use, and these two options are for clear the filter. If you have applied any filter, you can apply a filter here, and then you can clear by just simply click here. Okay, so these are all things related to the example. Then we have next as SQL job manager. As we know, everything is running on a particular job. So if you want to fetch the job details, like from here you can close the SQL job. From here you can copy the job name. Then we have option for edit connection properties. Then this I will show you the job log itself. If you want to check the job log, you can click here. It will show you the entire job log. Okay. So this is how we can use. Although there are many things we can do with the job manager, but for now we are just checking all these options only. Like from this you can close the SQL job. From here you can copy the job name. From here you can edit the connection properties if you want to edit the connection properties. Okay, then we have option for view job log. And on job manager there are few things like close all SQL job. If there are multiple job running on this portal, then you can close by clicking here all the job. Then we have new SQL job if you want to add new SQL job. And open SQL document is there. So from here you can open the SQL document, and here you can write the queries. Okay, so let me close this. So yeah, these are the all options that comes with DB2 and there are many things that you can explore here. Maybe in upcoming portion we will discuss it in detail further, like what all other options we can, what all other extensions are available that will help us to make our task easy. Okay, as this series take is longer than 2 hours, so I think like now it is time to wind up the session here itself. So but I will assure you that in the upcoming portion we will surely come up with some new features related to the VS Code. So yeah, that's all for this entire series. I hope it is useful for you. So if you like, you please share your feedback, and yeah, thanks for watching Texture Method.